The time has come, everyone, where I must step over that line that could generate hate, but it could also generate support. I guess we'll have to see where it takes us. Let's just cut to the chase, guys. I'm going to discuss in favor why I think Tamaki is roughly equal or potentially stronger than that of Togata. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Perm, it's been officially stated that Togata is the strongest of the UA Academy. Yes, this is true, it's been stated that he is, and I am taking that into account, believe it or not, because I don't think that Togata's position as the best student at the UA Academy necessarily means that he's the strongest student of the UA Academy. They take a lot more into account than brute strength and the power of their quirk. I find it very likely that their personality, their confidence in battle, and similar things like that are taken into account as well. Let's begin by talking about Togata. As we all know, he's officially known as the best student at UA Academy. However, we haven't seen much fighting from Togata other than when he was showing his quirk to Class 1A, where he beat all of the students present at the scene. Bakugo and Todoroki were, however, not part of this exercise, and they are the top students of Class 1A. So that is worth to take into account, not saying that it would have tipped the scale, but their quirks might have had an impact. One thing that I want to talk about is of course Togata's quirk, which allows him to phase out, causing everything to stop interacting with his body, including light. This of course means that during the time that he uses his quirk, he can't see anything. There's also a limited time to how long he can keep his quirk activated at any given time, because another thing that's affected is his ability to breathe. As I said, nothing interacts with his body, so air can't be inhaled either. This causes Togata to have a pretty big flaw even if he's untouchable during the time of its activation, because if you can predict when he's gonna need to come out for air and all of that, that actually puts his opponent at a pretty significant advantage if the opponent in question is at the right level of skill. Obviously, as we saw, Class 1A have not yet reached that level. Granted, it's partially because they didn't actually know how his quirk truly worked, but I don't see them actually winning against Togata even if they had known that. Because Togata did say himself that his quirk isn't strong in itself, he's the one that made it so powerful. Togata's personality is something that reminds most people of All Might, and this has a great impact on how well he is doing as a hero, because confidence, as long as it does not go so far as to become overconfidence, is a really good thing. Believing he can win as long as it's within realistic limits will definitely give Togata a good edge, because that means he won't hesitate to do what he needs to do and such. He will charge into battle for the sake of others because that's the right thing to do. This is most likely one of the bigger reasons why Togata is considered to be the best of the UA, because he has a really positive trait. A trait that not many share, at least not to that extent. Now let's talk about Tamaki Amajiki. His quirk allows him to take on the qualities of the things that he consumes. This does not simply apply to animals, meaning he can eat more or less anything and his body will be able to take on that quality. We did see this in his fight with Hojo as he managed to crunch down a small crystal shard. This is something a lot of people didn't notice, but his body was empowered to such an extent that even Hojo himself remarked it, which indicates that Tamaki did in fact get the power of Hojo's crystal, even if just, a little bit. Okay, so that's what his quirk does, so let's look at just what he has accomplished so far in the series on screen. We know that Tamaki's power is very powerful. We saw it completely overwhelm the 3 expendables that he actually fought. It took 3 of them to even be able to land a hit on Tamaki. Obviously, the only one that truly made any real damage to Tamaki's actual body was Hojo, as we did see him deliver a pretty solid hit to Tamaki's beautiful face. Tamaki even showed us in this fight that he has the ability to combine the things that he eats and turn it into something even stronger. Not only that, but he can also expand the size of whatever he eats, as we saw with the tentacles as well as the bird foot grow to massive proportions. One thing is for certain, Tamaki is the most destructive out of the big 3. Okay, his personality is however very important to bring up, because while he has the power, he is not like Togata. Tamaki is very closed in and don't really believe he is as strong as he actually is, and this pushes his ability back a great deal. We did see this in the battle that he had, that his confidence grew along the way. He was scared at the beginning, but deep down he knew that he was the best shot that the heroes had at getting past these expendables without losing anyone. The flashbacks that we saw of Tamaki and Togata told us a great deal, and that is that according to Togata, were it not for Tamaki's will to get things done, he wouldn't have come as far as he did. This told us a whole lot about both Tamaki and Togata. Okay, now that we've talked about both Miru Togata and Tamaki Amajiki, let's come to a conclusion. Can Tamaki stand as high as Togata? Of course, it's important to understand that because we haven't seen either of them go all out yet, it is just speculation at the end of the day. I think that Tamaki can definitely stand as high as Togata in ability because these two have something that the other lack. They need each other to stand as high as they do. Togata needs Tamaki's will to keep trying to get things done, no matter what, and Tamaki needs Togata's bright personality. They're like a really powerful duo who wouldn't be where they are if not for each other, and quite possibly, were they to separate forever, they wouldn't be as strong as we've seen them be. Their connection is something we haven't really seen before in My Hero Academia. It's not a romantic connection, it's a lot more like they're brothers who depend on each other to reach their goals, if that makes any sense. Looking at their quirks, Tamaki is without question more powerful. It can do a lot more damage, and it's one of the most broken quirks in the series because of the range of different traits that it can produce. I believe that at the end of the day, Tamaki is just as good as Togata. However, until his confidence has permanently developed to the point where he will just charge in just like Togata, Togata will be considered to be above Tamaki officially. So to conclude this video, I think I'll say that Togata is the better hero, but not the strongest of the two. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and as always, if you did, please like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. This has been your favorite host, Perm, and I'll see you soon.